Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Stop me now. If you want to have a good time, just give me a call. Stop me now. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to show you here and declare your independence. How you get independent. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to drink it. Here it goes. Here it goes. Oh. And it tastes yummy too. It's kind of like good. I mean, seriously, it's sweet and it's just nutritious. And I'm not a look at me, man. I'm a health freak, but I tell you what, it's like medicine. What's the difference between medicine and food? I mean, they're kind of interchangeable. At least it used to be. It's those Chinese got it going on, man. They knew what you need a little bit of this. Well, we're going to learn this. They don't want us to. They want us to be sick. They want us to be sick. They're going to suck us dry, keep you alive. This is, the more you look at it, how conspiratorial do you have to be? You just look at what's going on. You're going, well, I don't know if it's intent or not. It's definitely the freaking result of. So this is the one thing I want to do. We'll have it up on today's archive. We'll put all these links up. And, at the top of the hour break, I'll have the producer go ahead and put all these up. You can click on it now on top of freedomsphoenix.com, and you can follow along. You can go right to all of these different sites for some things that we have learned. I'll give you some of the things you can jot down right now. Square foot gardening. Just do a Google search on square foot gardening, and it'll come up all over the place. And they got all kinds of, here, I'll show you. They got all kinds of websites, and this one here is one that, shows you got, like a square foot university. I mean, you go from the beginning to the end. They got, you can buy some videos and all that kind of stuff, but they show you a lot here on the website. How you can, what supplies you need, how much space you need, what it'll produce, how easy it is. Because you're going square foot by square foot, you can do individual plants, you can do individual little crops, you can do, and you know how much it yields and produces, and you don't need to dig. You build it up on, property. You can just move it, take it somewhere else. You got to remix your dirt, but, maybe you want to haul that off too. So this is, it's enormous savings. You got like a 50% of the cost, 20% of the space, 10% of the water, 5% of the seeds, and 2% of the work. Yep, I like that. Then we go to Papercrete. Papercrete, C-R-E-T-E. Now, you go into there, and you can see the different kind of structures that are being built with this stuff. And you can do, it's like modeling clay. I mean, you can make whatever you want. You build a structure, you put it up, all over wherever you want to. You get all kinds of goodies you can make. You can get complex. You can get simple. You just need a framework. Now, let's go ahead and look at the framework. Now, how will we do this? Let's go ahead and do this. I want to make sure you guys can see this. It's called desertdomes.com. Now, if you put in dome calculator, it'll come up, and what it does is shows you what you need to be able to make a geodesic dome. Now, geodesic domes, my wife's not a big fan of how they look, but you can change whatever. Once you build the structure and you coat it and you insulate it, and this Papercrete is enormously insulative. It is an amazing stuff. If you were to make a cinder block, what are they, 10 by 8 by 12, something like that, like a cinder block on a block fence. To do that weighs, even though it's mostly hollow, you pick that up, it's got some heft to it. It's probably, 10, 15 pounds. I mean, it's got some weight. You make a solid block like that out of Papercrete, that thing only weighs probably, a couple of pounds. They're very light, but their crush is very high. You build an 8-foot wall on that, and you can put beams on top of it. So I'm going, okay, I've seen a lot of videos over the years on how they use this and what they do. I tell you one thing that was really interesting is they built walls up with it, and then over the top, they put bamboo. Just shoots of bamboo and put them next to each other. So you had like this bamboo rib ceiling. Then they shot Papercrete over the top of it about 6 inches thick. So, I mean, it's like a R factor of a gabillion. Now, what happens is the water seeps through it, so it just, drains the water. You get pure water coming out because the paper kind of, filters it anyway. So it just falls out and it dries and so on. Boom, done. You got your ceiling. You got a roof. It's all part of one thing. Where do they make it difficult? It's all the building codes and zoning and all this other stuff. Can you get away with that? Well, there are some parts in the country where you're outside of some jurisdictions. You're out in the county. You're out in Lone Prairie. It's different. You have to check. Because if you're just building a structure, it's a shed, man, for all you know, with a toilet. So you could do all kinds of different stuff. This is the kind of information that we need. The internet supplies us with all kinds of information about this. It's being done all over the world already. Like, not later. Now. Let's go ahead and look at the dome calculator. Now, what we're looking at here, for those that, can't see on the radio, you go to dome calculator or desert domes and do a search on that, and it'll come up. What we have here are different phases. You got 1 phase, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the reason they have that, it's how many support structures that you have. How many different sizes are you making? Now, if we go into the single phase, you'll see these calculators. What they do, see if you can see it up there. Yep. What you do is, like, let's say you want to make a dome out of 4x8 sheets of whatever. Now, coroplast, the stuff you make these political signs out of and everything, that stuff's good. I like that stuff. And they're free right after an election, know what I mean? So you go and you get this stuff and you say, all right, I'm going to make this like 7.8 radius. Now, the radius is from the center of the structure to the outside. So you're talking about a 16-foot design. You go inside, it's 16 feet across. Now, over here, I think it's 7.6. So over here, you can see, whoops. I messed up. Now, you can see it gives you the dimensions. Now, when you go in here, it'll say the length of the structure is like 8 feet. So it tells you how they're all the same size. It is you need a bunch of these triangles cut in this configuration. You have a triangle pointing up and a triangle pointing down. And they just create a wall around, boom, you're done. There's your shed. Now, when you go to the second and third phase, the one that I liked is the third phase. The reason is because if you have more different sizes, the 3, it gives you a straight up wall when you make a 5/8 sphere. Now, because keep in mind, what they're doing is you're making a sphere. The sphere, you're cutting it in half, maybe a little bit more, so your sidewalls go straight up, and then it starts to dome over your head. You can get, because the radius, keep in mind, this is over 8 feet high in the middle. If you want to go a little bit longer, you just put into the dome radius here. Let's say, okay, I want to go 10 feet. Submit, and it calculates. You'll see here on the calculations here, it tells you your A strut is 3.486 in length, B is 4.0, C is 4.1. You assemble these together, boom, you're done. Now, this is what happens, though. The connections on these, you have like 5 connections that come in. All right? Now, you'll see in a lot of science magazines and so on, you can buy these connectors for 2x4s. You just cut the 2x4s the length, put it in, boom, done. You coat it, insulate it, you got a dome. Now, we were thinking, we're going, what if we could do it using some other material that we could disassemble and assemble really quickly? We could just have it like a big tent, we just put it on a trailer, haul it off up there, and boom, assemble it out in Lone Prairie, boom, within a day. What would you use? Well, we came up with the idea, and then they added it on here. It looks like they got to go, hey, man, we already thought of that. It's called conduit. 3/4-inch conduit. It's like putting electrical lines into. Now, this is what happens. You cut them to the lengths, and then on the end, you flatten it with a press, or I just use a sledgehammer, man. I just hammer that sucker down. Then you take a drill press and you drill a hole. So imagine you got a piece of pipe that goes out. Now, you can use bigger pipe. Think about this. The chain link fence, that top part that goes, you can get them like 12 feet long and so on. You can make enormous domes. You flatten it, you overlap them. They just overlap, and you put a bolt through, boom, there's your connection. 2 years ago, I built one of these. I'm going to get you some video. We're going to go ahead and I'll put it back up sometime just to show you. And you go, wow. Wow. Breathing in and out. We'll talk about other ways to do it. Oh, along with the garden, some chickens. We got it going on. We're going to survive this thing. And I'm going to have help. I want to make sure. We've already been practicing for you. We'll be right back.